Hey, you're watching 100 Mile Drive, and today I have a 2023 Lexus RX 350 finished in this gorgeous copper crest color, and it has a 21-inch wheels. This car also has an inline 4, 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, and this is a dynamic drive, meaning I'm going to drive it in the city streets, highway and canyon roads and tell you how does this car feel to drive. Let's do it. Now this is the car me and my wife were originally looking at. In fact, we even configured it online in this color, the wheels that it has, and we almost placed our order until we then quickly changed the course because we went for the BMW and we ended up with the X3 M40i. But nevertheless, I was so curious on how does this car feel to drive, and here we are. All right, and let's quickly look at the exterior of 2023 Lexus RX 350. Look how beautiful this grille is. It looks much better in person than in online configurator. We first saw this car in the LA Auto Show and we were absolutely impressed with the looks and the size of this car. This car has a 21-inch wheels, which look, by the way, really amazing. If you want your Lexus RX look top-notch, then definitely it's a must-have option. All right, and by the way, these are all-season tires. You can see here Sport AS. By the way, these are exact same tires, Bridgestone Alenza, that we have on X3 M40i, but in that case, those are run flat tires. But the Lexus gets to have regular tires, so that way you have much better ride quality in this vehicle. Coming on the rear, these tail lights, I just think this car looks gorgeous. I mean, this car will cater pretty much to anyone looking at Lexus and even at the competitors. I think it looks one of the best in its class, to be honest with you. All right, this is just a quick walk around just to kind of show you what this car looks in this color, copper crest color. I think it's just stunning. All right, and let's do a quick door sound check. Still not a fan of this door handles with the button. We spent a whole day yesterday with this car and we found here and there issues with it. It's just, you know, getting used to it will take time, but nevertheless, you know, you can get used to them. It's a heavy door, overall very solid. You need to slam it a bit, you know. You have to be a little bit, cannot be like a gentle. Sometimes you have to slam it a bit. So door sound check passed. Let's get on the inside. All right, getting on the inside, closing the door, and I'm sure you guys already seen online lots of videos and pictures of the new RX. I just want to quickly point out about the quality of this interior. I mean, look at this. This is a Palomo bamboo color. These panels, everything is soft touch. There's a little harder plastic here, but it looks quality. I mean, that's the first thing when you sit in this car. Look at this steering wheel. There's a leather wrap, some wood finish trim, but everything looks like a really good quality materials. And that's what Lexus is known for. Let's go ahead and start it. Massive screen. I mean, I've sat in our X3 M40i after this and our screen looked like a baby screen compared to this massive screen. Everything is, you know, this is a little harder plastic. No, still soft touch, but anything you touch here is just quality. These are amazing materials, very soft. I mean, look at this stitching. Overall, this car is just quality all around. I mean, whatever money you spend on this, you know you're gonna keep this for years and it's just gonna last, and you're gonna enjoy this. You're definitely gonna enjoy this interior. Seats are very comfortable. They're not very well cushioned. I mean, they're good cushioned. Like, let's say X5 have a little bit more plush seats, the latest X5s with the Sensafin trim, but these seats are not bad, and when you sit in them, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna feel comfortable here. All right, so this is what it looks like here. Definitely top-notch quality. Now let's go ahead and drive. Driving Lexus RX 350 in the city. The first thing we want to talk about is acceleration. Coming here and a little stop sign. Stop, and let's go. Now this is a front-wheel drive model. Well, it has a good pickup. It has a decent pickup, let's just say that. One thing I can say, let's say how 2023 Lexus RX 350 is different compared to 2022 model. It's become more responsive. It's become more solid. Like when you drive this car compared to 2022 model, although I didn't have it on my channel, but I've driven that car before. In fact, hybrid and the regular model. This car feels more responsive. Part of it, the 4-cylinder turbo makes it a jump quicker, even though it had an older 6-cylinder engine, but this feels more responsive and it feels more solid. One more time, acceleration. Okay, go. This is a front wheel drive model, and by the way, no wheel spin. I mean, part of it is it's a heavy car, but the body control is also nice in this car. The way Lexus achieved here a better body control than in their previous model is that you don't have much, body lean, as much body lean as it used to have. Even the forward and back motion, like when you brake, they've done a lot of adjustments. They've done a lot of improvements where the car feels more planted. The car feels more solid. So acceleration in this car is not super fast, but it's not slow. It's adequate. Let's just use word adequate, and here we go. We'll just do one more time from the stop sign. Stop, and let's go. Yeah, so let's say compared to rivals like BMW X5, obviously this has a smaller engine, but cars like BMW X5 feel more athletic. They feel athletic, like they're able to carry same or even heavier weight, faster, and they even offer a better body control than their rivals, obviously. So Lexus does everything well for what it is. I mean, I'm quite impressed that this new generation of Lexus, it feels more solid. It has a Lexus DNA, like compared to, let's say, Lexus NX that I reviewed on this channel, where I complain about the bumpy ride, I complain about the sound insulation, and I said it kind of, I don't know if I said it in that video, but I basically say that NX Lexus doesn't feel like Lexus, except the quality materials, that it feels very good quality car. But this car definitely feels like Lexus because it offers that smooth ride. It offers that gradual, gentle acceleration. It offers nice sound insulation, and we're going to talk about all these things separately. So acceleration is not super strong. It is not slow. It is very decent for what this car is tuned for. Next, let's talk about steering in this Lexus RX 350. Now, one thing, this steering wheel, I mean, it looks like a top-notch quality materials. We have some wood accents and all that. My only complaint is a little thin and slippery. The first thing when you're gonna start like test driving this vehicle, depending how moisturized your hands are, if let's say you have a dry skin, you will feel that your hands kind of slip up a little bit. Not a downer, something you can get used to, or some people. I mean, I don't like putting all those wraps. I think they make car look terrible, so I wouldn't do that. But overall, I just wish it was a little thicker, and maybe the leather material that they used was a little bit more stickier. Kind of like, again, I'm comparing to BMW, where they have thicker steering wheels and the hand grips really well. This is especially important at the higher speeds, when you go at the little faster speeds. But nevertheless, I mean, this is the car you're supposed to drive very calm, very smoothly, enjoy your ride, take your family with you, enjoy the quiet cabin. So definitely not a deal breaker. Now, as far as how steering feels, it's kind of weighted. It's on the middle side. It's not light. It's not as direct like in Lexus NX. So it's more in a relaxed kind of feel, but yet it's responsive. It's responsive, and that's what I'm going to talk about on the Canyon road. So make sure you watch for that part 3, where I'm going to drive it on the Canyon roads, because despite this being relaxed steering, the balance of the suspension and steering is really quite interesting. How it's implemented in this car, despite being soft, despite being a calm cruiser, this car has some interesting attributes where it handles pretty well. All right, so next let's talk about suspension. How is suspension in the new Lexus RX? And that's what I was so curious about, because I was so disappointed with Lexus NX, and I was hoping that RX is completely different, and it did not disappoint. So let me go ahead and drive on these bumpy roads, and then we'll talk about suspension. Okay, now I'm driving Lexus RX on kind of beat up road, Tampa Avenue, and this is Lexus DNA in action. It nicely smoothens out the bumps and dips. Now we are riding on 21-inch wheels. I can feel those, that they add to a little bit firmness in some cases, and how the shocks respond. Like I could tell if you take this car on the regular wheels, like a 19-inch, I believe, right? It'll have even better feel of the road, like how, let's say, it smoothens out those little imperfections. So there is a little bit of stress going on there, but it's manageable. It's not a downer. It still feels nice. It still feels solid. So suspension is kind of on the comfortable side. Like I said, this has a Lexus DNA feel, unlike the NX, where it just responds very harsh pretty much to all the bumps. And the suspension setup here, the shocks are on a softer side. They're not sophisticated like Porsche or even the X5. That they would feel a little bit more sophisticated damping, like you would love how they do it. Here it's a very simple kind of response to the bumps, but because it's a softer suspension travel, not super soft though. I'm quite amazed that they finally found some kind of balance between being too kind of soft and mushy, and not being too firm. So they found that middle ground where this car feels nice. It feels nice. One thing, it feels heavy. This car does feel heavy, but at the same time it feels balanced, and I don't want to use the word soft, honestly. I want to use balanced again, right? So, and you feel that driving on the beat up roads, you feel that driving on the highway, and where we're gonna go right now. So let's drive a little more on this Tampa here. Yeah, and it's quite amazing. It just absorbs all those bumps. There is some cabin noise, but it's nothing abnormal. It's just purely normal. So anyone considering buying this car, you'll definitely enjoy it. Just make sure you choose between the 21-inch wheels and the 19-inch wheels, because or 20-inch wheels. I'm not sure which ones, the standard ones, but it's definitely gonna make a difference. These 21-inch wheels, bigger wheels, so I could feel them adding to that busyness a little bit on the bumpy roads. So let's quickly jump into these local neighborhoods so we can get a better feel for the steering and how easy it is to drive this car around town, right, when you go for the errands. It's nicely absorbs all those speed bumps. Transmission responsive, transmission is quite responsive in this car. It's a regular automatic transmission. And then one thing I don't like about the Lexus, by the way, is selecting between the modes. Like you have to press on some menu like this, the 6 dots, whatever. Then you actually have to scroll to the right to get to the drive mode menu. And I'm driving in eco mode, as you can see that. So let's keep it on normal. Now we're gonna drive in sport mode in the canyon roads. So this is a normal transmission. So you see, you have to kind of go and start scrolling through things. This is one thing I wish that they put those controls here so that I could quickly switch them instead of going to the menu. I don't think going digital for everything, kind of like what Tesla does, is necessarily the best thing. And yesterday also we noticed, when we were driving at night, we were trying to switch through the control menus, and then sometimes we would bump into the wrong setting because when you drive, things move, and then you may be going for the heated seats, but instead your finger will press the heated steering wheel. So this will happen in this car. You'll get used to it, but I don't think that it should be all digital on the screen. All right, so driving this car in a local street is very easy. The steering is it's kind of light. It's not super light, but it's in the middle. It's like on the middle side. So it's very easy to steer this car, to maneuver. I mean, you can see how the body responds, doing it gently. Very pleasant. Like if I could describe with one word, how does it feel? It feels very pleasant. Let me just jump in one more street here. Yeah, good pickup overall. What I like about the pickup, there's no massive turbo lag here. Like the transmission does it shift fairly quickly. You're in the right gear and you have your boost. So the turbo gives you that boost. Let's say the 6-cylinder engine would be it would be more responsive, but that's not how Lexus really set it up. But the turbo engine is more torquey, like it jumps quickly. One more turn here. Just kind of giving you the feel what the car is like to drive it, drive it around town. Go to stoplight. There's no back and forth motion like I kind of complained in the NX Lexus, but that was a hybrid. This is not a hybrid. So the body is very planted. This is what I like about this RX. The body is planted. The gas pedal is very responsive. By the way, the gas pedal feels kind of medium. It's not heavy, it's not light. The brakes feel the same. Okay, it looks like I have to turn around here. All right, and we are back. So overall, driving Lexus in the city, like running around your errands, picking up kids, driving with kids, very, very comfortable, very easy. It's a nice place to be, very quiet, comfortable seats. I mean, what more you want? I mean, this car got it all. The only difference will be compared to, like I said, X5, is the X5 is more athletic. It's even more responsive. I mean, it has more power after all. And it's more nimble compared to Lexus. Lexus is a little bit more relaxed. But with this generation, they're closer to European rivals, where they finally make car more stable, more balanced, more responsive, but still keeping the Lexus DNA. It was like what people want is, to give that comfort, quietness, that smooth ride. And that's what Lexus was successful in doing so. Now let me go ahead and drive it on the highway. And now driving Lexus RX 350 on the highway. I'm gonna merge the highway here. I'm still in a normal mode, just kind of like a normal driving. Yeah, very adequate pickup. Very adequate pickup. Like I said, I like that transmission is not laggy. Like there's no massive lag. It's fairly responsive. Off we go. Slight wheel spin. Personally, if I'm spending $60,000 is what this car most likely is, around 60, 62, I would definitely get all-wheel drive. I mean, it's gonna be a much better feel. You're not gonna have wheel slips. You're gonna be able to take it to snow. I always recommend all-wheel drive, and then it's gonna be a little bit quicker, a little bit more responsive. So if you're considering, make sure. I mean, hybrid already comes all-wheel drive, but if you're getting the base, the RX 2.5 liter, then get all-wheel drive. Now, another thing I want to quickly point out is the fuel economy. I mean, the average fuel economy after driving this car, like yesterday, more than 100 miles, today already, 30, 40 miles. So it's 19.2 miles to the gallon. I mean, this is worse than our X3 M40i, or about the same if I drive it, like this. So even on the highway, it didn't really produce that much fuel saving. Although, of course, if you drive it in eco mode only and then you be very conscious, I'm sure you'll be able to get to those 25, 26, 27 miles per gallon figures. It's just gonna require a lot more conscious driving. All right, so let's talk about highway driving. The first thing I wanna talk about is sound insulation. And this cabin is very, very well insulated. I think it's the best insulated cabin I've been in so far. Haven't driven a lot of larger crossovers on this channel yet, but from what I've driven so far and from what I remember, X5 is probably about the same, but this cabin is just very well insulated. So I'm gonna look at some decibels here, and then we're gonna go with around 65 and just see what it looks like. Wow, it's 62. The average is 62. That's amazing. Yeah, 62 decibels. This is by far the best on the channel. You hear slight noise, overall background noise, but you don't hear anything obvious. Like I don't hear, despite having large 21-inch wheels, I don't hear the noise from tires. I don't hear cars passing by me. I mean, this cabin is very well insulated, so that obviously brings to the next question: is this a good cruiser? And absolutely, this is what Lexus is all about. Comfortable seats, quiet cabin, responsive engine. It's a very good car for long trips, and then even the rear seats are very comfortable, so you just can cruise along like this. And the nice thing also, because the damping is different on this car, it's not like mushy soft, it's like balanced. This car does pretty well at the higher speeds. Like if you go, which you shouldn't, but if you go above the speed limit, this car holds. It holds in place. It doesn't have that wavery kind of motions. It's very solid. It's very, very close to, I would say, like what European rivals are. And of course, the next thing which I like to test is kind of try to overtake a car here, just to kind of see what the mid-range power is. Nothing crazy, but let's say, just gonna go a little bit left, right. And yeah, it has. I mean, it's a torquey engine. I mean, 317 pound-feet of torque is a very torquey engine. So the transmission is very eager. It's not lazy. So when I press, it finds the right gear, and then it just goes. It just easily shifts and it goes. So yes, this car can overtake other cars easily on the freeway. Good mid-range power, very smooth, quiet cabin. I don't want to say this car only belongs to highway. Like, let's say some cars, I feel like they would be better for highway. This car does everything well. So let's see how it drives on the canyon roads, so I can talk better about safety of this vehicle, how safe this car is in case of brakes, or you have to overtake a car, if somebody stops in front of you, how safe it is. Let's go ahead and find out. All right, driving Lexus RX 350 on the canyon road. Let's go. So I have my car in a sport mode, and so we have a more responsive transmission. We just kind of want to see, we're not necessarily going to go fast, but we kind of want to see how the body control is, and how does this car feel in more dangerous situations. All right, so overall, I mean, I've been driving here on the canyon roads for a little bit, and I'm impressed. Again, I'm impressed that in this body, which is kind of on a softer side, they're able to add so much control. So they've done a lot of improvements on how well this body is able to carry itself through the corners. This kind of tells me that this car feels safe. The steering responds well along with the body. Like in Lexus NX, I was saying that steering is fast, but the body is kind of slow. Now here, that's not the case. Wow, very impressed, very impressed. I mean, this is better than the Highlander I drove. This is better than the RAV4 that I drove. This is just on another level. This is not athletic like an X5 is, not as engaging athletic, but the tremendous job. They've done tremendous job in being able to maintain this body control through the corners. So let's talk about first the engine. Engine is responsive, fairly responsive. Transmission right now in sport modes, it's a little lower gear, so it responds pretty well. Transmission is good, engine is good. Brakes feel solid. The car doesn't have a lot of forward motions. The brake respond really well. They're soft like pedal, and it kind of stops car really nicely. I love this. I mean, you can have fun with this car on the back roads. I mean, that's exactly what I can say about this RX. And look how well it takes this corner. I mean, wow. Of course, I mean, you can easily hit the limit of this car. This is not what I'm trying to do here, and I'm not even driving it aggressive. I'm just kind of trying to show you that, let's say if somebody brakes in front of you, this car can do it. This car can easily, somebody taking a photo of me, this car can easily overtake that obstacle. And this is why I say bring your car to twisty roads, spend some time with it so that you can understand your steering responses. Oh, look how many bikers are here. You can understand your brakes, you can understand everything, so that if anything happens on the road, you can respond quickly and you'll be in tune with your car. You have to be one. You and your car has to be one, right? It used to be you and your horse, now it's like you and your car. So guys, very impressed with the new RX. Very good body control. And this is where Lexus DNA got to another level where finally we have a nicely refined suspension, very good steering, very good body control. It's just pleasant and joyful to drive. And it holds. This car holds. This car really holds. Wow. Today is Sunday and Mulholland Drive is known for, a lot of bikers driving on these roads. Might get a little loud here. Wow, that's crazy. If you guys know who these are, riders, or I don't know all the names, let me know in the comments, but this is pretty cool. Anyway, it's just a quick drive to show you that Lexus RX is safe and capable. And so far, all the ingredients they added to this car, brakes, suspension, transmission, engine, they've done a great job. They've done a great job for what it should be. Like, they basically took Lexus experience to the next level, and I'm very happy to say that this new 2023 RX 350 delivered on that. So I'm very happy. So I hope you like this. So let me go ahead and summarize this now. And I just finished a dynamic drive of 2023 Lexus RX 350, and I have this very good positive experience after spending almost 2 days with this car. And I'm super happy, for anyone who's gonna buy this car, because if you are looking for a safe, reliable, luxury, fun crossover, especially these days when cars are expensive and many people are financing them, paying like close to $1,000 a month, well, this is a lot of car for the money. So if you're getting one, you're paying towards your loan, at least you're paying towards something that is gonna be reliable, that's gonna be safe and somewhat fun to drive. I mean, this car has some, sprinkles of that engagement. Of course, if you're looking for more athletic driving, more sporty driving, then that's where BMW, Audi SQ8 and all these cars, Porsche Cayenne come and play. But if you're looking for something, which is family oriented, but it's still kind of a little bit fun, somewhat engaging, then Lexus RS have done tremendous job. Like I said, they took Lexus DNA to the next level, and they've done a tremendous job. So my final feel score for this car is 8 out of 10. I'm giving my somewhat highest points to the Lexus because I loved it. I liked it, and that's one of the cars I would consider buying. I hope you liked it. If you did, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any new future uploads. Talk to you soon.